Good day, guys. Welcome to this first chapter, Information Systems in Global Businesses. Today, it's our first chapter, and then our learning objectives for this first chapter is how are information systems transforming businesses and why are they essential for the running and managing of a business in today's world? What is an information system? How does it work? What are its management, organization, tech and technological components, and why are complementary assets essential for ensuring that information systems provide genuine value for organizations? And the third one is what academic disciplines what academic disciplines are used to study information systems and how does each contribute to an understanding of information systems. And then we continue to have a running learning objective that will go on throughout the course of this module. How will management information system or MIS help my career? So it's an introspective question for each and every one of us. Again, we have our video cases here, business in clouds, Facebook and Google eBay data centers. So let's try to acclimatize ourselves with these scenarios. So yeah, we have one year in which we are told about a business, smart store reinvents the retail space. So smart stores are what we are looking at here specifically. The business challenge they face include mounting competition from other online retailers like our eBay, as we've seen in our previous slides. eBay, Amazon, they are online retailers, much more bigger online retailers, and they are trying to take advantage. Another challenge is they are taking advantage of opportunities that are provided by new technologies. So why this can be a challenge is that they may not have the monetary ability or the finances to be able to take advantage of new technologies. New technologies include the advent of AI now, in which almost every business is trying to, in one way or the other, incorporate AI to better their business. So solutions are being provided here, as we see here. They say there's a system that will help store manage curbside pickups. There's a smart shelf that enables retailers to view and track products in real time. So there's no lag. This will make sure that there's no lag in their view. They are able to see whatever is happening with the business in real time. They can help shoppers locate products using mobile devices, personalize shoppers experience. We see this in the case of businesses like Cash Crusaders. They have a lot of stores in different places, so you can be able to check one particular store from the same system. You can check a store in mega city and then see if they have what you want, or you can check the one in town to see if you have what you want. There's AWM frictionless, which enables low contact cashless checkout. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you've heard of Amazon stores in America in which they have now cashless and cashless checkouts. They have entire stores in which there are nobody that is manning them for them. So there's cashless checkouts being maybe not here in South Africa yet, but then it's being operated other places. We can also look at uh, how those solutions help to illustrate how brick and mortar retail stores are using information technology to compete more effectively against online retailers. It demonstrates IT roles in driving business operations and management decisions. It's also an illustration of how developing new technology requires companies to design job and procedures. So there's a job redesigning. Rather than just taking cashiers now, there's a need for us to take IT technicians who are going to help us to manage our system and our procedure and changing how companies run their businesses. So it fundamentally alters how businesses is being run by companies. Then we move on to how information systems are transforming businesses. It's just the last part that we just discussed now. Our slide here tries as much as possible to now expand on it. Global spending on information technology, IT, and IT services is nearly at $3.8 trillion. And this is the data from 2019. So we should look, if we try to check newer data, it should be much more than that. $160 billion it's been spent on management and consulting services. Consulting services include Deloitte, PwC. I'm pretty sure some of you want to work there after this degree. Organizational, management, and cultural changes are often required for firms to deliver full business value from IT investment. So IT investment should be tailor-made. So we have to look at our organizational management and cultural changes so that we can be able to deliver a full value from our IT investment. We don't just want to invest on IT because it's a norm. We want to get the best. We want to optimize the value we can get from such investments. So our very first figure here shows us a figure of IT equipment, software, and R&D. R&D is research and development spending in nominal GDP as a so this is shown as a percentage of total capital spending in nominal GDP. So I believe this is a data from the United States. It shows yearly how IT equipment, software, and R&D spending goes on in the United States. We see there's a peak if you look at there around 2009. So we see there that's around the time of the financial crisis. So there was a need for research and development also in those time. And then this graph clearly shows us how the spending goes up and sometimes also come down. So what's new in management information systems? So we are now trying to look at the new the new things that we see that are coming in now into management information systems. They include IT innovations. These are cloud computing, big data, Internet of Things. These are mobile digital platform, AI and machine learning, sorry, rather, the use of social network for business objective. So cloud computing, we now see we can host our businesses online. Big data, there's huge amount of data that is available. Data almost replicates itself. The entire data we have right now could be replicated in the next week in the entire world. So there's huge amount of data now available. Internet of Things, we know this is the things we use in day-to-day life. Mobile digital platform, we see more businesses now know the importance. You can't just have your website optimized for laptops alone. Even most people don't have laptops alone. You must also have them optimized for digital and mobile use on your phones. AI and machine learning, we don't need to explain too much. There's a big explosion of AI. There's the AI arms race that is going on. The Chinese want to be able to corner the AI market, the Americans. So there's a big arms race for AI, and then machine learning continues to be quite important. Use of social network for business objectives. This is prevalent among us as students because we know there's a lot of businesses on our campus here in the Northwest University where you see on Facebook people marketing their nail business, nail textile business, whatever it may be. So they see a lot of use of social media for business objective. And new business models include online streaming and downloadable videos. So we have our Netflix. Um, as far back as 2010, I don't Netflix was just they rent a cassette, but now there's a streaming services. Most movies after it's been some movies don't even go to theaters anymore. They just stick them in a streaming service like Netflix. Some of them after they've finished in theaters, then they stick them their parent company, they stick them on their streaming service. Maybe it's Amazon Prime, maybe it's Netflix, maybe it's Disney, whatever it may be, Peacock. So streaming services continue to grow. Businesses now want their own in-house streaming services. Also, we even see it here in South Africa, DSTV itself, Showmax is a streaming services for DSTV. So there's a massive business model. There's a massive race for cornering those kind of markets also. So e-commerce expansion. E-commerce worldwide expands to nearly 3.6 trillion in 2019. Again, this is this particularly about this one. This was before the pandemic. The pandemic was in early 2022. We know how explosive e-commerce got during the time of the pandemic because most of us could not leave the comfort of our house. We had to rely heavily on ordering things via e-commerce services. So I'm pretty sure if we check the new data that we have now, this probably, if not likely, might have doubled in 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 value than this $3.6 trillion that's been quoted for 2019. So e-commerce business has grown exponentially just even within the last 5 years due to the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic. Growth in social economy spurred by growth of mobile platforms. As I've said before, there's a massive growth on social economy in social media commerce. Just on Facebook, if you open your Facebook, you see a lot of people doing advertisements for several things. This includes you see people doing advertisement for I'm making my nails, I cook food, I plate air. So there's a massive growth in that perspective. Mobile retail e-commerce growing more than 20% per year, reaching almost 300 billion in 2020 alone. So as I've said before, mobile retail has grown. Even from, let's look at alone from the say the fashion world. Shein has come into the market. We've seen Timu come into the market, and then they've been able to corner the market, and they've been able to ensure that we are it from the comfort of our home. We could buy our retail clothes and other things like that. And the management changes also continues to evolve, and there's new methods of management changes now in management information systems. So managers are becoming more mobile rather than just sticking them in an office. They are now more mobile. We now see people managing businesses we from even not in the on the same continent, even not on the same continent. Maybe the social media manager is sitting somewhere in Australia, and then the business is here in South Africa. Things like that are now more prevalent in our current climate. Managers use social network and collaboration tools. Managers use network so that they can see the new market trends. So if you go on Facebook, if you're trying to look from the fashion sense alone, I'm not going to say for the ladies, but then mostly you can see that on Instagram, you can see what the new fashion trends are looking like, and then they use it for collaboration tools. They can see a designer on Instagram, they can collaborate with that sort designer so that they can use it to bring new fashion products to the market. Business intelligence application are also being accelerated. So business intelligence, we are using those tools now to help us to make better business decisions also. Firms and organization changes is also quite new. They are more collaborative, less emphasis on hierarchies and structures. As I've said before, there's now less emphasis on hierarchies and structures in our businesses now. So we, as much as possible, we want to make decision faster and cheaper. So we have to get more collaborations into the organizations. There's greater emphasis on competency and skills. So it's not just something like, oh, it's only hierarchy. Now you have to be competent. We have businesses now want to bring in AI experts. There are even businesses that are bringing in AI prompt engineers, that you know how to prompt AI very well so that you can use it to get the best from such AI applications or AI tools. Higher speed and more accurate decision making based on data analysis. So data is now used to make informed decisions or before making decisions. So there's more accurate decision makers. Amazon can now target South Africa because they have an idea of the data they have about South Africa. They have an idea of the spending power of the South African population. So they know how to use those data to make higher and better decision made about their business here in South Africa. More willingness to interact with consumers, and then we know about this. There's a lot of ways businesses now interact with us. They try as much as possible to find out what consumer needs. They do this via social media. We see a lot of surveys. We literally have survey businesses, survey companies that they will tell you, okay, help us take this survey and then we'll pay you this amount of money. So these are ways in which businesses are trying to directly interact with their consumers in order to better give us the products, and or in order to help them to share products that would help them in the market. Better understanding on the importance of IT. The businesses now know they have to have an in-house IT. In-house IT. It's not just about outsourcing it out alone anymore. Even some businesses still outsource their application development out, but then the management, they understand that the management of such applications, of such website, has to be done in-house, and then there is more employment of such people in within business and organizations. Our first interactive section for this study unit is management. Will the coronavirus pandemic make working from home the new normal? So this one we can actually look at the coronavirus pandemic as passed. So is it now the new normal? I believe it's now more of a blended approach. Businesses have not gone back. There's now more blended approach. People work hybrid now. They spend 2 3 days in the office. They spend the remainder of the working days or in their house or working from home. So it's a more of a blended approach. That's what the coronavirus has given us. It's the new normal. The blended hybrid approach is the new normal. But then you can think about it by yourself. It's an interactive session. It's for you to think about it, and then you can come up with your own decision or come up with what you see is the correct way of looking at it. Now we move to globalization, challenges and opportunities from globalization. Internet and global communications have greatly changed how businesses is done. There's a drastic reduction in operating cost and transaction on global scale. So it's a more interconnected world now. There's more transaction on the global scale. So there's now we operate there's a less operating cost because now it's a norm for us to operate on a global scale. Things that we wear here in South Africa, they are designed in another country, they are manufactured in another country, they are shipped to our country here, they pass through many ports before you get to here. So there's now a bigger transaction on a global scale. Competition for job market, resources, and idea. There's a massive competition for everything you can think of. Everything you can think of, there's a massive competition for it. Rare materials, there's competition. Jobs, as I said here, there's competition. Businesses and even countries are trying to market certain market resources. Just recently, the Americans and the Chinese, they are fighting over the rare art materials. These are materials that are used to make everything from our laptops to our phones. They are extremely important. So there's competition for all those things, and even for ideas also. There's growing interdependency on global economies. As much as countries fight each other, they need each other. There's interdependencies on economy. The American economy needs the Chinese economy for manufacturing. The Chinese economy needs the American economy because the American have a big consumer power. They have a very good consumer power. Their citizens have a bigger purchasing powers than those of the Chinese. So they depend on each other. And likewise, the South African economy depends on the Mozambican economy to produce a certain amount of electricity that is being used within the confines of the 9 provinces of the Republic of South Africa. So there's a dependency on each economy. There's no standalone economy anymore. It's practically impossible. So this also requires new understanding of skills, market, and opportunity. We have to understand, our government have to understand what is needed so that they can use it to shape, or perhaps they need new skills, so they then use it to inform the decision from the Department of Education. They use it to inform perhaps the immigration laws. They use it to inform what business, what agreements they sign with one country or the other. So we also have the emerging digital farm. In the fully digital farm, there's a significant business relationship that are digitally enabled and mediated. There's core business processes that are accomplished through digital networks. The key corporate assets are managed digitally. So in this we are talking about a digital farm, the digital farm perhaps that doesn't have a brick and mortar business. Digital farms are often greater flexible. They offer greater flexibility in organization and management. There's time shifting and there's also space shifting available and readily embraced by digital firms. We now move to our strategic business objectives of information system. Here we are trying to look at what are the objectives of our information systems. One of the objectives includes growing in interdependency between the ability to use our information technology and our ability to implement corporate strategies and achieve corporate goals. So we want to use our information technology, but then we want to use it to achieve a particular corporate strategy. There's no point in us just having big servers, big cooling reagents, because we want to have our own technology space within our businesses without having a goal in which we are trying to use them to achieve. So we have to it has to complement each other. And then our first the figure here, it says the dependency between organization and information systems. So here we see information system consisting of our software, our hardware, data management, and even telecommunications. So they go, you see, it's the arrow there is bi-directional. So both of them go hand in hand. The business strategies and business processes inform what our information systems will look like, and our information systems also equally informs what our business strategies, objectives, and business processes also entail. So we see the arrow there, importantly, the one that goes from software to business, the circle of business strategies, objectives, and business processes. We see that they are both bi-directional, so they both depend on each other. So continuing with our strategic business objective of information systems, we see that firms invest heavily on information systems to achieve six strategic business objectives. Let us please take note of these for the purpose of our examination. One is operational excellence. So they want operational excellence. They want a viable and smooth running operational excellence. They want new products. They want new services. They want business models. So, and they also want customer and suppliers intimacy, and they want improved decision making. They want competitive advantage, and they want to survive. All these things are geared towards improving the business, the company's interest, which is most often than not the financial bottom line. They want to maximize and optimize their financial gains. So that is why businesses heavily invest in such information systems. So now we are going to just run through some of those reasons that we've previously stated. Operational excellence, it includes improved efficiency in that result in higher profit. As I've said before, higher profit is always the goal for businesses. Nobody enters a business aiming to run at a loss. So higher efficiency is one of the biggest goals. Information systems and technology help improve efficiency and productivity. Higher productivity also informs higher profit. So example here that we are given by our slide here is Walmart. So power of combining information system and best business practices to achieve operational efficiency. So it shows in Walmart's report in 2019, sorry rather, that it shows they made over half a trillion dollars. So specifically 524 billion in sales in 2019 alone. Most efficient retail store in the world as a result of digital links between suppliers and stores. So they have a very good system that links their suppliers and stores, which means that they are able to keep their shelves filled. You don't get to Walmart. Most Walmart, I would assume that, and then you see that the shelves are empty. No, because their leaders and and the heads of the companies have ensured that they've efficiently created a link and a system between their suppliers and the store to ensure that their stores with different products remains on their shelves. New products, services, and business models means that information systems and technology enables firms to create new product services and business models. So business models is how company produces, delivers, and sells its products and services. For example, Apple has transformed old model of music distribution. We have Apple Music, and then we have iTunes. Constant innovation also from Apple. They released the iPod, they released the iPad, they released the iPhones, and the iPhone they've constantly evolved it every year. The tech world looks forward to the release of a new iPhone every single year. So it shows that Apple have been able to corner the innovation and keep the product fresh enough for people to always be expectant for the new product to drop. Customer and supply intimacy includes customers who are served well because customers who are served well become repeat customers who purchase more. So customers being served well. A big example here is an hotel services, and our slide here tell us the Mandarin Oriental Hotel. They use IT to foster an intimate relationship with its customers, tracking, and they keep track of their preference. So perhaps if their customers like the light in their room to be dim, or they like a certain food or a certain way of service, the hotel intelligently keep track of such preferences in order to bring those customers and make them repeat customers within their establishments. Close relationship with suppliers result in lower cost. When you have a close relationship with suppliers, you have lower cost because when you don't change suppliers every day, you can project how much the transportation is going to cost, how much what things within such supply chain is going to cost. Example, continue with our Mandarin Oriental Hotel. They have a supplier in JC Penney. So JC Penney uses its IT ability to enhance relationship with suppliers in Hong Kong. So they are able to know where the most of their suppliers are coming from, and they're able to optimize it to serve their interest well. Improve decision making. This is extremely important. This is extremely important. Without accurate information, managers must use forecast, best guesses, and luck, resulting in misallocation of resources, inventory, and employees. So if you don't have accurate information, that is what people do. Forecasts are being used by a lot of companies, but then best guesses, that's not a business decision. It's like you just doing mini mini manimal and then choosing the best one and lock. So those kind of things are extremely dangerous to use, because immediately you use those methodologies, you have a misallocation of resources. Perhaps if you should have allocated more resources to A and then you allocate it to B, the business will not be best optimized. Real-time data improves the ability of managers to make decisions. Example here again, Verizon web-based digital dashboard provides managers with real data on customers' complaint, network performance, and line outages. It is extremely important in self-service deliveries to have real-time data, because MTN can easily know that, okay, fine, in Unit 5 of the Northwest Province in Mafikeng, network performance is low, so they can then make solutions in order to optimize the performance of their network in that particular area. Competitive advantage, which is what every business wants. They want advantage over their competitors. It often results in achieving previous business objectives. The advantage over competitors, so they charge less for superior products, better performance, and better response to suppliers and customers. Example again, Apple, Walmart, UPS are industry leaders because they know how to use information systems for their purpose. Apple continues to be the juggernaut in the telephone market. They've cornered a huge chunk of the market, and then despite the fact that multiple competitors run on Android that is provided by Google, but then Apple still has been able to corner a huge chunk of the market despite that. Survival. Businesses may invest in information systems out of necessity. It's simply the cost of doing business. It's important to be able to do that. Example is Citibank's introduction of ATMs so that they can be able to keep up with their competitors. Other banking services have always had ATMs, and then Citibank saw that and they also implemented that in order to be able to keep up with other banks. Federal and state regulation and reporting requirements. Toxic. So this includes the Toxic Substance Control Act and the and other acts also there. So, what is an information systems? So, what is an information systems? One of the definition includes the information technology, which is the hardware and software a business used to achieve objective. Information system can be defined as interrelated component that manages information in order to, one, support decision making and control, two, help with analysis, visualization, and product creation. And also and then we are also told a definition of data here: stream of raw fact. Data on itself, it's not useful. It's just data on itself. You can't use data to make it's just raw fact. It's raw fact. It's only when it is been processed and then turned to information. Information is data shaped into meaningful and useful form. So when data has been processed, it then turns to information which is actually useful to us, and it's shaped into meaningful and useful form, which is useful for businesses. Another figure here, the third one of our module, our study unit today, it shows the difference between data and information. So when data passes through information system, it becomes useful information. So we see that those data on our left hand side, it basically was not it's useful, but then just raw fact which cannot inform business decision. And after it has been processed through information systems, it has been depicted by our diagram here, our figure here. It shows us that now we are able to see the sales report and then item description, and being able to get a figure of the total sales itself. Continuation of information system can also activities in an information system that provide information includes input, processing, output, and feedback. Also, in our previous diagram, you could see the input, the processing stage, output. Also, feedback is extremely important for businesses like developers. They need feedback from users of the system in as much to be able to better the system itself. Sharp distinction between computer program or versus information system. There's a distinct difference between those things themselves. Feedback output is returned to appropriate members of the organization to help evaluate or correct input state. As I said before, feedback are extremely important by the end users of the system itself. But then here in our scenario, it tells us that to appropriate member of an organization to help evaluate or correct the input state. Computer or computer program versus information systems. Computer and software are technical foundations and tools similar to the materials and tools used for it. Also, there's those are the computers are tools that are important to help us achieve what our information systems should entail. So another figure function of information systems. This is a diagram for us to see what are the functions of our information system. Please let us take note of the diagram very well. Dimensions of information system, they include organizations, management, and technology. So figure 5 shows us information systems are more than computers. They are organizations, technology, and management itself. They all contribute to the meaning of information systems itself. So dimensions of information systems. The first one we are looking at here is organization, hierarchy of authority, and the hierarchy of responsibility. We have our senior management here, we have our middle management, we have our operational management, we have our knowledge workers, data workers, and production or service workers. So here we are given another figure to see our level of a firm. The senior management, the middle management, and the operational management are all in the pyramid of levels of management in our firm. So, a dimension of information systems, organizations continue and say we have to separate business functions. We have to separate business functions. So, in a typical business, we have a sales and management, human resources, finance and accounting, manufacturing and production. So there has to be a clear distinctions between the function of each department or if of each arm of a business. We have to have a unique business process. Our business process cannot be the same with a business that is not in our own industry. We have to have a unique business culture to help foster growth and cooperation within all arms of our business. We have to have organizational politics and policies also to help us to run our business efficiently. Dimension of information system again continued management. So managers they set organizational strategies for the responding to business challenges when such challenges arise. Also, in addition, managers and management as a whole must act creatively. They must act creatively in the production of new products and services, the occasional recreation of the organization itself. So as it's been said, occasional it's not something that happens often. So now we move to the information technology aspect of our dimension of information systems. Computer and hardware and software business must provide such thing for the smooth running of the business itself. Data management and technology, the data management technology rather, data must be well managed. Data is what informs that the business runs on when it's being processed into information, as I said before. But then the management of the data itself must be well thought of and must be well planned. Networking and telecommunication technology. So this includes our network, internet, intranet, extranet, world wide web. They must all be provided for by the business. IT infrastructure. This is what provides the platform that which our system, the system the business is being run on is built on. Another interactive section. Let us please go through these interactive sections. They can help us get important nuggets in a real world scenario. Here it tells us about healthcare at Singapore's general health services. So please let us go through these interactive sections. So now we are being showed a business perspective on information systems, which is extremely important. A business perspective on information system. It's not just technology. That's the tagline for this particular slide. It says information systems is instrumental and it's an instrument for creating value. Investment in information technology should result in superior returns on productivity increases. So we should not, as I've said before since the beginning of this slide, information technology should not be developed or should not be invested in just for the sake of investment in it. We should see an increase in our productivity. We should see an increase in our revenue. We should see superior long-term strategic position also. So business information value chain, these are raw data acquired and transformed through stages that add value to that information. The value of information system that is determined in part by the extent to which it leads to better decision, greater efficiency, and higher profit. So the value again is not the when the system is developed, we can We can evaluate. Oh, the graphics is clean. It's the feedback loop or whatever, it's good. But then the real way which it's been evaluated is when it helps us to make better decision, when it gives us better efficiency, and then importantly for us as a business, or in the case of a business, when it leads directly to higher profit margins for the business. And the business perspective now is, it says, it calls attention to organizational and managerial nature of information systems. So businesses, as I said before, always want an higher profit margin. So that is the most important part of developing an information system. It's to help to support the business to, at the very end, make better and higher profit margins. Investing in information technology does not guarantee good returns. It's important to know that it's not, as I've said before, it's not just for the sake of it should help us get good returns, but then it doesn't always guarantee good return. There's considerable variation in returns firm receive from system investment. So you can look at different case of different firms and see how their investment in information technology or information system has given them viable returns. And there are other factors that also play on whether you on the level of returns you get on your investment, which includes adopting the right system model. It's important. Investing in complementary assets, which could include organizational and management capitals also. Our next figure is the business information value chain. The business information value chain. So we see that the business processes include supply chain management, enterprise management, customer knowledge management, and then we see the data collection part of it, transformation into a business system, and the dissemination, which then informs our planning, coordination, control, and modeling and decision making. All of them are geared towards the firm's profitability and strategic positioning. So let us please go through these slides and understand very well these figures. They are quite important. Complementary assets, these are the organizational capital and the right business model. These are assets, this tells us assets required to derive value from a primary investment. Those are complementary assets, as I've said before. They are assets that are required to derive value from the primary investment itself. So firms supporting technology investment with investment in complementary assets receive superior returns. So it's not just about building the IT system. Other complementary assets, depending on the industry you are, if you have a car industry or uh, a transportational industry which we help businesses to ship their goods, or perhaps we are in their goods, our complementary assets, which is to be fair, the main asset for their business. Even if they have information system that is very good, they must have good cars, good trucks, in which they can be able to move the supplies they are moving more efficiently. Example, invest in technology and people to make it work properly. So as I've said before, in the case of a supplying business, they have to invest in good drivers and they have to invest in good trucks also, as well as investing in technology, as we've said before. So another figure here shows us the variation in returns on information technology investments. So this shows us how IT capital stock against productivity, which is relative to the industry average. Also, the IT capital stock is also relative to the industry average also. So we see that when the IT capital stock investment rises, we see there it shows us the productivity also often always rise themselves. It's not always from our graph here you can see, but then on an average, it shows us that the more IT capital stock is invested into, productivity often rises alongside with it. Continuing with our complementary asset, if we see the example of organizational complement asset includes appropriate business model, efficient business processes. An example here of the managerial asset includes incentive for management innovation. So rewarding good management innovation, teamwork and collaborative work environment, creating a serene environment for good collaboration and teamwork. An example of social asset includes the internet and telecommunication infrastructure. So we shouldn't see that within the office internet is poor. So there should be good investment into such infrastructure, and then also having a good technological standard. So, our ninth figure, apparently in this study unit, is the contemporary approach to information systems. So, we see the technical approach, which is management science, computer science, operational research, and then we see our behavioral approaches, which is, as I've said before, information system is not just only about the technological part of it, but then it also incorporates the behavioral approach, which is psychology, the psychology of whether to adopt the new technology or not, the economics, the numbers behind it, whether it's viable to adopt it, and the sociology, which is the social technical approach of it also. So, technical approach, now we're going to look at them. Technical approach emphasizes mathematically based models. So this is our computer science, management science, operational research, the development, looking at how if the system itself is well optimized, looking at the numbers behind it. That is what our technical approach means. Behavioral approach is the behavioral issues, the strategic business integration, implementation, psychology, economics, and sociology, as I've explained before. An approach, now, as I've said before, I mentioned social technical systems. So management information systems combines, so which is our module that we're doing now, combines computer science, management science, operational research, and practical orientation with behavioral issues. There are four main actors in management information system, which is the suppliers of the hardware and software, which is everything that deals with our computers, business firms themselves, managers and employees, and the firm's environment, from the context of the legal firm environment, the legal view of the firm's environment, the social and the cultural context in which the firm itself operates within. So, continuing, our social technical views is the optimal organizational performance achieved by jointly optimizing both social and technical system used in production. So, both from the social angle and our technical angle, we should ensure that they are well optimized in order to better get the best performance that we can get from from our businesses. It helps build purely technological approaches. So you can't just have a purely mathematical approach to everything. So it helps abroad a purely technical approach. A tenth figure for this study unit, a social technical perspective on information systems. So it shows us that from we have a technological alternative and a organizational alternative, so in every situation. So, and then we see the final design of technology and the final design of the organization. So it shows us that there should be a very good balance between the technological approach and the social approach also. So, as we all know, how will management information systems help my career? This is another introspective moment. Please let us go through it. The company here in our scenario is Power Financial Analytics Data Services. The position is the position of financial client support and sales assistance. And then the job requirement, information systems, and author tips are also here. So let us try as much as possible, if we have time, to go through this introspective view of this slide. So, as a conclusion, the power of information systems in businesses cannot be limited in providing the tool, providing the process, directing the decision to be made, and providing competitive advantage. So, everything should be done. So information system is a very robust and encompassing way. It provides tools, processes, directing the decision to be made, and providing competitive advantage, and which everything tries to funnel to helping the business itself to get the best and optimum result, which often in most instances is an higher profit margin. So thank you very much for listening and watching this study unit 1. I'll see you in the next study unit.